The reduction in funds from the state is probably the biggest issue we have to face. It was reported to us. I've been on city council for 12 years as a councilman at large, and we had a council meeting last night. It was reported to us that the real estate tax for the city's portion of the real estate tax, next year is going to be reduced by $250,000 because the county just appraised all the property in Summit County, and the appraisal in Tallmadge of all of the properties dropped. I've heard anywhere from 7 to 9%. As a result of that, there's $250,000 less we're going to get next year just from real estate taxes. And that will go for 3 years because real estate is reevaluated once every 3 years. So there's $750,000 in the next 3 years that we're going to be down.
Yeah.
The mayor just reported the last half hour that this year we've got about $1 million increase in income tax that has come from the businesses in our community, and that will help offset this $250,000. However, we were also informed that in the next 2 years, the state funds that we received is going to be a little over $1 million, $1.1 or $1.2 million less than what we anticipated and what we have been receiving. So this increase in income tax that we've received from the businesses in our community is already offset in the next couple of years. So down the road, what we need to do is there's 2 ways you can fix your bottom line.
That's what I was going to ask. Go ahead.
One is to cut expenses and collaborate. My platform last year when I ran for mayor was collaboration. I felt that that's what we needed to do, and that's what I hung my hat on last year. That's old news. The other way to fix your bottom line is to raise revenue. And the way you raise revenue is go out, mingle with the business community, not just in Tallmadge, but in the greater Akron area. And that's what I did when I was CEO of my financial institution. Attend chambers of commerce meetings, not just Tallmadge Chamber, fine chamber, don't get me wrong, but they know what's going on in Tallmadge. They don't know, for the most part, I don't believe, what's going on in chambers throughout the region. So if you're active in all of the chambers, you network with businesses who are talking about, I've outgrown my space, I need bigger space, I need to move, I'd like to get closer to the expressway. And that's how you find out if business is looking to move. And so in the future, that's what we have to do. We have to network in the region to find businesses that are looking for space. We have plenty in Tallmadge, and convince them to come to Tallmadge.
Jack, let me ask you this. You mentioned business side a couple of moments ago. I had some businesses leave, and you really didn't know this was happening. Is that one of the things that you want to address as far as hitting the business community and communication?
Absolutely. My plan for office in January would be to talk with businesses in Tallmadge and put together a commission of small business owners and or operators in conjunction with the Tallmadge Chamber, and talk with them about what do we need to do in Tallmadge. Tallmadge is perceived, when I worked outside the city of Tallmadge. I worked with a lot of businesses outside the city of Tallmadge. Tallmadge was perceived as not business friendly. Mayor Klein mentioned a half hour ago that we have a piece of legislation that was approved. It was actually presented by the former mayor and approved 2 or 3 years ago, which makes which permits a business to get a refund, income tax refund, if they bring a significant amount of payroll to the city of Tallmadge. So if or when in January I get elected, I will form this commission of business owners and ask them, why are we perceived as non-business friendly, and ask them, you network with businesses in the region, who's looking for space? And hopefully using that technique of business commission, we'll be able to find businesses that are looking to move.
Jack Sarver with us, candidate for mayor of Tallmadge. Jack, you've been on council for quite some time, over 10 years out in Tallmadge. What are you most proud of, maybe, that you brought to the table as a council member that had the Jack Sarver name on it?
Well, I've been on for 12 years, actually. I'm finishing up my 12th year. 6 years I was chairman of the Finance Committee. I'm proud to say that of those 6 years, every single budget that was presented and approved by the Finance Committee and moved on to council and then passed was a balanced budget. And throughout the year, we lived within that budget. Then I was elected president by council members, and I served as president for 4.5 years. And I brought, I believe, leadership skills to city council meetings, permitted the community to speak at both our committee meetings and our business meetings. There was a story in the paper a week or so ago that lots of communities don't permit that. We were on the forefront of doing that, and I was president of the council when that happened. So I believe my stamp is the 6 years I served on the Finance Committee and having a balanced budget.
Jack, one thing that I like to do when I finish up my conversations with the candidates, I like to give them 60 to 90 seconds to kind of present themselves. As you mentioned, this is a forum really where you can talk to the voters of Tallmadge on why you feel you're the perfect person to be the next mayor of Tallmadge. So why don't I turn it on over to you for the next 60 to 90 seconds and talk to those voters, Mr. Sarver.
Thank you. I believe that I am the most qualified because of my leadership experience of 35 years doing a like job. That is, a CEO of a corporation, answering to a board of directors who are elected by owners of the corporation, exactly like a mayor, council, taxpayer voter scenario. I'm very comfortable in that environment, and I've been very successful. The company that I started with was a little over 20 times its size, 22 times its size when I left. So I know how to grow a business, and therefore that relates to growing a city. I believe I can be successful in bringing new business to Tallmadge and leading Tallmadge into a brighter future.